This is the Griffin Realty Group Ask-A-Griffin podcast, episode number 52. We continue in our agent plan with the question, do you have a vision for a business that works? Are you a home seller or a home buyer who has questions about selling or buying residential property, but you can't seem to find an easy way to get your answers? Well, then, hey, you are definitely in the right place. I'm Danny Griffin, the founder of the Griffin Realty Group and the host of the Ask-A-Griffin podcast. Now, to help you take immediate action to get started in the right direction, if you need to sell or buy property right now, or in the very near future, you can take advantage of our free step-by-step guides that are waiting for you at griffincourses.com. Okay, let's get started. We have 3 plans that are very core to our business: the seller plan, the buyer plan, and the agent plan, the plan for agents. That's where we find ourselves in this series here. And the question on the table is, if you are a real estate agent, do you have a vision for a business that works? So the first point I want to cover here is that when real estate agents start in the business, they have some sort of a sense that selling people that they already know is going to be enough, and it is not, nor will it ever be. See, a lot of us were intrigued by real estate when we first really became cognizant that maybe this is something you could do to make a living. And there are a lot of people, by the way. This is, in the United States alone, this is one of the largest private associations in the country, the National Association of Realtors. That is the professional organization that real estate licensees can join. So there are about 2 million plus or minus real estate licenses in the United States. And then of those, over 1.4, I think at the time of this recording, have joined the National Association and a local MLS or multiple listing service. So it's a really big business. So there are a lot of people that are thinking about this, but when you look at the statistics, you can see that people really don't have a vision for a business that works. They don't really know what's at stake because they get in it thinking, oh, I like real estate. It's interesting to me. I like staging. I like rehab. I like all of these things about real estate. So I'm going to get into it. And they don't even recognize it as a business to begin with. They don't see it as a business opportunity. And they just presume that they bought a house or sold a house with somebody or saw somebody do that. And they figure, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And I like that. I think that's good to think like that. Why not me? I'm a huge fan of that line, right? Why not you? It's a good question. But if your perception is that you know enough people, you've been in another business and you have a long list, it's not enough. It's just not enough. And that plays itself out in the reality of those 1.4 million people. The statistics will tell you that the average number of sales transacted in an entire year, a buy side or a sell side, that's what we talk about in this business. A sale has 2 sides to it. You represented the seller, the buyer, or perhaps both. So most real estate agents who became realtors, that's the name, realtors, only 2 beats, realtors, by joining the association, they only do 3 in a year, 3 sides. Now, it still makes it a tremendously wonderful part-time job, depending on the split that agent has with its brokerage. So it can be still a good thing, but that's not a viable business. That's bordering on a hobby. So my endeavor here is to share all the free information we have, sellers, buyers, and agents, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, so that you know the reality of this. The presumption that most of you making as agents are that you have enough sphere of influence. You hear it all the time in this business. I can't stand that terminology because to me, I came in this with a business background and people started talking to me about this sphere of influence. And I was trying to say, well, where's the business model? What do you mean sphere of influence? I mean, sure. Can I go out and influence people? Or are you telling me that I should be going up to my friends and family and only those people? It just didn't make any sense to me. So you can see why this process is important to understand that selling people you already know is not enough. That leads us to the second point. Don't be subjected also to the external forces such as normal economic changes. I think that's really important. And I could throw in there, referrals and all of these things that you think that come from your sphere. You don't want to be subjected to these external forces. You want to have a sense of control when you're running a business. So the way that you avoid that is to have a business vision. and I'll get into the plan in a second here, but to have a business vision for some business that actually works, not one that you sort of whimsically hope it works. You see, that's why a lot of small businesses fail, let alone real estate agents, and why they're doing so poorly. And by the way, there are a tremendous amount of realtors that sell nothing an entire year. And that's a loss because you have to pay all your dues for MLS and anything that you expended to try to make the business go. You get my point? No good. Not good. So, but when you don't have a vision also, there are the normal ups and downs of the economy. In our business, most definitely driven in line with the interest rates. When the interest rates go up, things cool off. Now, all of a sudden, you have a challenge where the buyers aren't there, prices fall. Maybe you can call that a buyer's market, but we follow that interest rate. Right now, the market's super hot because rates are still low and the economy's good, but we're getting inflation. So it's right around the corner. Rates are going to go up. Prices are going to cool off. Sellers are going to be left like in the last musical chair, in the musical chairs game. That's exactly what happens. And you don't want to be subjected to that. You don't want to just be sort of a happy-go-lucky rolling with the waves in business. You want to be out in front of this. And a business vision tells you that. So if you can see both sides of the business, buyers and sellers, you can see right now that sellers are in the catbird seat, but that won't last forever. And so when you're coaching your buyers, you're telling them, look, be patient. Interest rates are going to tick up. If we can get a good deal right now, while rates are low, wonderful. But they'll tick up even a little bit. There'll be an opportunity for you. See, that's how we think when we have a vision, because we see the business out in front of us. Also for the seller, you say, look, if you want to do this, it's a great time to do it now. Even I have clients right now that I'm talking to and are moving to Florida. And I said, look, here's what I would do. I would get this place absolutely buffed out and I would get the best price and I would put my money on the sidelines and I would go rent. They're moving from Massachusetts to Florida. You see, that's a business vision. That's a plan. I'm actually giving those people a plan. And that leads to the third point, which is a clear plan that I'm talking about having as an agent includes a way to do business with people that you don't know. You see, if you know this is what I say to people. The fog the mirror success for an agent is, sure, you're going to know 3 people that are going to buy or sell property in a year. And that's proven out by the national statistic, right? Is that the average realtor is going to sell about 3 properties in a year. That means they knew at least 3 people who are going to buy and sell. But those people that go beyond that, and then well beyond that, and I know this as a top producer myself, I knew from very early on, well, great, I'll take those 3 or maybe 6 or 9 because I was more aggressive about the people that I knew that were close to where I was, that sphere, quote unquote. But I knew that wasn't going to be good enough. I was trying to turn this into a real business, a viable business that could stand the test of time. And I've been in it for 21 years now. And there's about to be probably a third economic dramatic change here. So I've seen all these things, and it's because I started developing a plan early on that was battle tested. But very early on, I knew how to do business with people that I didn't know. I knew how to go into neighborhoods and make the right offers to sellers. I knew how to run my open houses and make the right offer to buyers. Those were all people I didn't know in addition to the ones that I did. So let me go back and summarize this point here. Question on the table for the agents and the agent plan. If you want to be an agent, you are an agent. The question is, do you have a vision for a business that works? And the core points of a business vision that works in this business is, number 1, recognizing and having the vision that selling people you already know is not going to be enough. 2, that you don't want to have a lack of a vision that leaves you subjected to external forces such as normal economic changes, which are going to happen, in some cases, really dramatic. Without a vision, they're going to hurt more. And by the way, with a vision, you can take advantage of downturns in the marketplace, big time. And lastly, a clear plan that takes that vision and begins to clarify it includes a way to do business. Now, there are multiple ways, but a way, at least, to do business with people that want to buy and sell that you don't know. And that starts with a lot of things like offers, etc. So I'll leave it alone at that moment there and summarize it this way. Okay. When starting as a real estate agent or resetting, you must beware to not fall prey to guessing that you know enough people who may buy or sell with you. That thinking is not a plan and subjects you to the whims of whether or not other people will refer you. It's awful, right? Painful to say it. So a solid business vision starts with a plan that includes a way to do business with people that you don't know. All right, now, remember, you can take immediate action to get started in the right direction if you need to sell or buy property right now or in the near future by getting our free step-by-step guides at Griffin, Griffin, courses.com, griffincourses.com. Also, don't forget, you can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen. We're pretty much everywhere these days. And you can find us also on our social media channels where we post these and give this information away for free. And that way you won't miss any of these insights if they're important to you each time we upload an episode. We'd also appreciate it if you would comment and share our content with anyone thinking about selling or buying property or becoming an agent so that they get the help that they need to be successful. But remember this, like we always say when we sign off here, remember, nobody's coming for you. So take action and get to work on your own plan for buying or selling property. And we'll see you in the next episode to help you do just that. Thanks again for listening.